Welcome to AC Online, the newest campus at Algonquin College. AC Online is a flexible and convenient option for post-secondary education, whether you're a recent high school grad, seeking professional development, or making a career change. Choose from a selection of more than 80 online programs and more than 800 online courses. All of our offerings meet the same standards as our on-campus programs and are geared towards unique personal or professional needs of online learners. Whether you have a family to care for or you are working full-time, with AC Online you can select the workload that's right for you. Be it full-time, part-time, or course by course, the choice is yours. Our accreditations fit your career goals too. You can graduate with any of our diplomas, advanced diplomas, or a range of certificates. With learners across Canada, AC Online is one of the largest and fastest growing online learning providers.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. My name is Mark Savinkoff, the Vice President of Advancement for Algonquin College. I hope you enjoyed our short AC Online video as you were joining the event here today. It's my pleasure to serve as our Master of Ceremonies for today's virtual event in recognition of one of the college's long-standing supporters, Audrey Lawrence, and her role in establishing the Audrey Lawrence AC Online Bursary, one of the first of its kind in Ontario. As we begin, I'd like to welcome Vice President of Truth, Reconciliation, and Indigenization, Ron McCluster, to say a few words. Ron.
Oh, you go, Mark. So I had just double checked with Mark, what kind of words that was okay to share. And he said, anything as long as it doesn't take longer than a half an hour. So no, actually he said 3 minutes. So with that 3 minutes, I'll do a quick opening in my language and then provide some context. So Dekanahila Dunksla de Yene Tuladu Ungwe Hugu Yonkinu Ha Ohunja Ungwat Tugu Yonko U Na Degalunda Rendelio Hugu Oji Dalhasu Owelasu Asena Tugunda Nene Anyohande Savihi Yonki Soto Nilda Ladisa Galyandes Skana de Leo Singwaya Dizo Danito. So that is a really quick way of giving thanks, and I thought that was a good thing to share, not only because in the community that I come from, they say we're supposed to share those words before doing anything important, which clearly we are doing today, but because the underlying message is being thankful. The underlying message is interconnection, interrelation, and interdependency. And today we spend time and acknowledge Audrey Lawrence for some really amazing work and a really amazing gift. And so we put our minds together and we say, Gustana Haladu and Guatni Guha, we put our minds together as one. We bundle all these thank yous and we throw those thank yous into the four directions. Just really quickly, I've had an opportunity at random times to spend time with Audrey, whether it's at board dinners or lunches or just chatting on the side, and I would like to just acknowledge you, Audrey. You've always brought a good mind. You've always brought something for me to think about and reminded me to include and remember that the work that we do affects so many people, and you've encouraged me to keep a good mind and to remember those interconnections and interrelations. So a big thank you for so many things, and with that I offer you those opening words. Yamango Gastna Haladu Ngwatni Guhage Darnito.
Thank you so much, Ron. I'd now like to welcome, of course, our guest of honor, Audrey Lawrence, our President and CEO, Claude Brulé, Jay McLaren, Chair of our Board of Governors, Patrick Deavy, Associate Vice President, Global Online and Corporate Learning, as well as special guest, Mpp Jeremy Roberts. I also want to thank and acknowledge all the members of the Algonquin College community for their attendance, including representatives from our executive and leadership teams, as well as our Board of Governors. Now, you may have noticed that we have a graphic facilitator who is joining us today. Lisa will be creating a visual map of our experience, and at the end of the session, we'll have her work to share with everyone. After the session, she'll forward it along to us, and we'll make sure that everyone knows where it's posted as a bit of a memento and a keepsake for our time here with one another today. At this point, I'd like to welcome our president, Claude Brulé, to share some remarks. Claude.
Thank you, Mark. And thank you, Ron, for your opening words. It's my distinct pleasure to be here today to announce the Audrey Lawrence AC Online Bursary and to thank Audrey for her generosity and recognize her deep commitment to Algonquin College and its learners. It has been my privilege to work alongside Audrey since her appointment to the Board of Governors in 2017, where she currently serves as chair of the Governance Committee. The wealth of knowledge and wisdom that Audrey brings to the college continues to help shape our decision-making as the world looks to recover from the pandemic. Audrey's energy and enthusiasm has long been devoted to numerous volunteer endeavors across our community. She is well known as a motivational speaker and facilitator, covering topics ranging from cultural safety and organizational change to diversity, humor in the workplace, and change management. And she does all of this with a great sense of humanity and a fantastic sense of humor. She's a true champion of our learners and a proud ambassador of our core values of caring, learning, integrity, and respect. Audrey knows firsthand what it means to receive a bursary and have it change one's life. As a young woman attending Teachers College, she applied for and received a bursary to support her first year's tuition. She also knows the value of remote learning, having pursued her university degree through correspondence courses while balancing being a mom and full-time teacher. Audrey is also one of our college's Indigenous leaders and a passionate supporter of our Indigenous students. Her steadfast commitment in this regard is reconfirmed again today in the bursary we are launching. The Audrey Lawrence AC Online Bursary will represent 5 separate bursaries. 2 $6,000 bursaries will benefit full-time learners, with one directed towards an Indigenous student. 3 $1,000 bursaries will be awarded to part-time students, of which international students are also welcome to apply. In setting out the criteria for this bursary, Audrey wished to support our AC Online campus, understanding its great potential to reach learners. This includes many Indigenous students who live in more remote parts of the province and the country and wish to learn while staying in their communities. As such, it is fitting that we're announcing this new bursary while we celebrate the 1-year anniversary of our AC Online campus. While distance education has long been a hallmark of Algonquin College, the success of AC Online is nothing short of outstanding. The campus has experienced an overall 26% increase in enrollment in this past year. It has surged in growth, including almost 4,000 students studying full-time and almost 56,000 online course enrollment in 2021, both all-time highs for Algonquin College. In all, over 13,000 unique learners across Canada chose to study online at Algonquin College. I want to congratulate Patrick Devey, Algonquin College Associate Vice President, Global Online and Corporate Learning, and his talented AC Online team for this resounding success. I know that thanks to the Audrey Lawrence AC Online Bursary, the lives of many learners will be positively transformed, much like Audrey's once was, and we will be inspired towards even more success in the years ahead. On behalf of the college, and with the deepest appreciation and gratitude, I thank you, Audrey, for your service and generosity. Thank you. Merci. Miigwech.
Thank you, Claude, so much for your remarks here today. We're also very pleased to have Mpp Jeremy Roberts with us. Jeremy, thank you for taking some time to join us, and I'd invite you to say a couple of words.
Well, thanks, Mark. It's a real pleasure to be here today as the MPP for the riding, which houses Algonquin College as kind of our jewel at the middle of the riding. Really appreciate the invitation, Claude, to join you. It's always great to be back at Algonquin, even virtually. You know, I was reflecting recently on the pandemic, and one of the silver linings, I think, has been the fact that we have such a great, tremendous technological capacity in today's world. You know, I was thinking back even 10 years ago when I was just starting post-secondary studies, you know, not every, not a huge number of students had laptops at their disposal. There wasn't a huge online course offering at the time. And what was starting to be offered 10 years ago, oftentimes there were technological glitches. And that was just 10 years ago, let alone 30 years ago when my parents were both Algonquin College students. If you imagine a pandemic happening at that time, how much more significant the challenges would be compared with today when we've been able to pivot to this online virtual mode of learning. And so it's a huge kudos to the entire Algonquin team for how they've been able to pivot, because Algonquin College has really been at the forefront before COVID and since on pivoting towards providing this access to virtual learning and making this accessible to students regardless of where they are. So to all of the team at AC Online, congratulations for all of the tremendous work you've done. And of course, a big thank you today to Audrey Lawrence for her support through the funding for these bursaries. That's going to be a great way to support a lot of students to be able to continue to access these virtual learning environments. You know, the last time I was at Algonquin, Claude and I were filming a little video to highlight some funding the provincial government has provided to Algonquin to support our PSW training efforts. And I got to say, the campus was eerily quiet. And so I really am looking forward to hopefully being able to be back soon for some gatherings in the Dare district and other parts of campus and seeing all of you in person. But until then, we'll continue to make sure that we're supporting the virtual delivery of online education. And again, thank you to everyone who's part of this. And we're getting there. I was just told this weekend that we're closing in on 40% of the adult population in Ontario having received their first doses. So that we're getting there. There's light at the end of the tunnel. And thanks to everyone for all that you're doing. So pass it back over to you, Mark, and thanks again to everyone for being here today.
Thank you, Jeremy, and thank you to everyone who is putting in their good thoughts and remarks in the chat here as we proceed through today's event. Now I'd like to introduce Patrick Devey, Associate Vice President, Global Online and Corporate Learning. Patrick.
Thank you, Mark. Hello, Kwe, et bonjour. What an exciting day this is for students and staff at AC Online. We're truly humbled by the generosity of Governor Lawrence and of the opportunity she's providing current and future learners of Algonquin College to transform their hopes and dreams into lifelong success whenever they want, wherever they are. And when we gathered together just over a year ago to officially launch AC Online, I think that was the last time I wore a tie. It was Algonquin College's way of acknowledging and pledging that access to a quality educational experience should not and is not limited to our physical campuses. Students choose to pursue their studies at a distance for a myriad of reasons, ranging from family and work commitments, and we heard Audrey's experience, her own personal experience as to her choice, health reasons, preference with the flexibility of choosing when they do their coursework and from where, because through AC Online, we bring the campus to you, to your offices, kitchens, and living rooms. When I sign the Dean's List letters twice a year, congratulating students for their exceptional academic performances, I always glance at the mailing address on those letters and continue to be amazed about where these students are coming from. You may not be aware that over half of the students enrolled in AC Online programs and courses join us from outside of the Ottawa region. And I would wager that not many colleges or universities in Canada can claim that they currently have students enrolled in their programs from coast to coast to coast, from St. John's, Newfoundland, to Victoria, BC, to Inuvik in the Northwest Territories, where we have a student enrolled in our Property Management Foundations program, and everywhere in between. Every major Canadian city has an Algonquin College student enrolled in one of our programs. And our reach extends beyond our borders, beyond our coast, to Egypt, where we have a computer programming student, Taiwan, where we have a student enrolled in our Community and Justice Services program, and Turks and Caicos, where I plan on lobbying to host our fall convocation ceremonies next year when we can do that in person. And yes, Audrey, you absolutely will be invited. But back to those letters. It's those smaller rural towns, the ones that I actually have to look up to find on a map, that demonstrate to me the vast impact that AC Online continues to have on people and by extension on their communities. These are places where access to higher education would be impossible without the opportunities provided by, among others, Algonquin College through its online campus. Places like Peewanook in Northern Ontario, not far from the Polar Bear Provincial Park, or Joe Bat's Arm on Fogo Island in Newfoundland. I had to look that one up. That is a real place. And Carmacks, Yukon Territory, population 500. By helping to support the education of learners through the generosity of people like Governor Lawrence, the potential impact we have on transforming those hopes and dreams are not just on a regional, but also on a provincial, national, and dare I say, international scale. I couldn't be prouder of the AC Online team and of the Algonquin College community for their efforts to provide access to higher education for those who otherwise would not have the option. So on behalf of all of us, thank you, Governor Lawrence, for your leadership in helping to break down those physical and financial barriers to learning. Thank you. Merci. Miigwech. Nenaskomtin, Audrey. I tried my Cree on that one. And to thank you on behalf of the students, future and present and future, I invite one of our graduates from the Fitness and Health Promotion Program, Patricia Coyne, who happens to be AC Online's valedictorian for the upcoming convocation ceremony. Of course, it'll be held virtually. To say a few words, over to you, Patricia.
Hi, I'm Patricia. With the arrival of AC Online, a world-class post-secondary education became available for all students, including those who have challenges, illnesses, family obligations, and personal obligations. AC Online provides unparalleled accessibility to education, allowing those who have the drive to succeed to work towards a diploma on their own terms, while following strict academic guidelines and striving for excellence. One of the services that I needed most was financial support when I found myself coming up short to afford my books and supplies mid-program. I was fortunate enough to receive a bursary to cover these expenses so that I could have the supplies I needed to keep going and succeed in my program. Many of my fellow students were in a similar situation to my own. I had previously graduated from university in 2003 and had been working in a safe career path since then, but this lifestyle did not suit me. I was unhappy in this career choice, homesick, and struggling to cope with my own health issues and wanting to help my family with theirs. My husband and I both decided to finally pursue the life we really wanted. We moved to a new home in Pembroke to be near my family. He found his career path, and I found AC Online so that I could train for mine. I had always had a passion for health and fitness, and I wanted to learn how to improve my own and my family's health while helping the community. But in-person classes were not an option for me at this time and at this location. AC Online allowed me to follow my dreams and taught me to accomplish goals I never thought possible. I overcame obstacles such as lockdowns, financial struggles, and health challenges. I learned to seek guidance instead of shutting down. I applied what I learned in school, real-time, in my life, for myself, and for my family. I scavenged together a gym in my basement to apply what I was learning despite closures, and I connected with classmates to discuss our experiences and professionals in the field to discover opportunities. I learned how to build on what you know, connect with those around you, and I now own my small personal training business of my own, and I continued to pursue a career working in the health field. I know that the AC Online graduates are grateful to have had this opportunity and will continue to be ambassadors for the college as they move forward in their new careers. Many of us have sponsors to thank for helping us along the way. It is the generosity of people like Audrey Lawrence who keep this program running smoothly for struggling students. Audrey is a member of the Algonquin Board of Governors who has made a generous donation to create bursaries for AC Online students. This will not only help students with financial need, but will also show that it is okay to ask for help, will demonstrate that there are people who believe in your success, and will showcase the support of the Algonquin community. Thank you, Audrey, for helping student dreams become career success stories. Thank you.
So we've heard so much about Audrey, her generosity, and the impact that her bursaries will have on our students. Now, without further ado, it's time to hear from the guest of honor herself. Audrey, I invite you to say a few words.
Wetchia, and thank you so many for being online for this. I'm just so touched. But I do have to say to Patrick, my relatives were on Fogo Island at least a few centuries ago. There are tombstones that still have the dates recorded up there from 200 years ago off the coast of Labrador. Anyhow, what I would like to say is I really want to thank everyone for all their kind words, but it is really me that should be thanking you for setting up all these opportunities. Patrick especially, because when I had a chat with him and asked him about bursaries for online students, he said, oh, there are none right now. So it's like, yes, I can put some in and be the first in something in my life. So that was really great. And I thank all of you for your work that you are doing at the college in supporting distance learner. I am giving so little effort to that, but I do hope people may be interested in pursuing this and giving more. And I especially want to thank the great support I got from Mark and the advancement team. Some of you have stolen some of my thunder about my earlier start, but I have to explain to you the circumstances a little more. I'm so grateful to complete the circle of when I got my first bursary, when I left my house in St. Foy near Quebec City to attend McDonald College in Montreal to become a teacher. Being very clever, I had paid for my tuition and expenses and books in advance, but I totally forgot about cost of living. And I was down to my final apple in the fridge when this letter arrived with a check for $250. And I was just so thrilled that I was actually going to be able to go to the store and buy some meat, real meat that I hadn't had for a while. And then I wrote a lovely thank you letter for the bursary, and they sent me another check for $500 for a bursary that someone had left on claim. So that virtually allowed me to get through my year of teaching college and move on to being my work as a teacher. So it was such a great godsend to have received that memory has stayed in my mind, and to be able to finish the circle is a wonderful opportunity for me. Of course, the need to keep learning, even once I finish teachers college, never ends. And as mentioned, when I was living in Northern Quebec, teachers were soon mandated to have their degrees. And there I was needing to finish mine by summer school and correspondence courses. So I know very well the hard work and extra effort distance learning requires. I had many a long night juggling a cranky baby to put to sleep, doing housework and lesson plans for the next day, and still the need to get essays written before deadlines were due. So I can really appreciate that message from that student. Of course, many years later, when I was a tutor for Athabasca University, I was on the opposite side of the phone and hearing the students as learners as they were struggling through unfamiliar concepts while dealing with their own life issues. Sometimes it was as much life helping them get through the finer points of sociological theories as it was calls dealing with their life issues they were dealing with. I helped struggling Indigenous moms to an RCMP officer in the Northwest Territories who had finished his assignment but was very lonely after a three-day snowstorm wouldn't allow him to get out and talk to anybody else. So much for getting out to mail in his assignment. I thought that was a good reason for being late. I am so glad today that so much has changed for the better with technology and access distance learners have today, but the real life issues still continue. And I just want to share with you a story from my son. He was in the hospitality and event planning program at Algonquin in 2014. And I asked him one day, I said, what is it that you really like about Algonquin College? Because he spends most of his time grousing about his assignments and having to get up early to work in the restaurant. And he says, you know, Mom, he said, what I really like about Algonquin is the profs really care. And I just was so touched by that. And I'm so happy that these 5 bursaries will be there every year to help make a difference for some learners, and that they will know someone really cared for them. Miigwech.
Thank you so much, Audrey, for sharing your remarks, for sharing your experience, and for inspiring us all to actively contribute and to be involved in a way that makes sense and that rings true to who we are, to what we believe in, and to acknowledge the support that our students so desperately need. I want to thank you again, Audrey, for your leadership, for your inspiration, and for giving us an opportunity to come together on this Monday to celebrate and to look ahead at what's to come. Now, to help us close today's event, I'll acknowledge again everyone who's joined us here and for the time that you spent. Our commitment to you is to share more information about the bursaries and ways in which you can be involved. And to help us close today's event, I'd like to invite my colleague and friend Ron back to provide some reflections and closing remarks. Ron.
Wow, how do you try to wrap up all the good-mindedness and all the intention and all of the benefit that a gift and an act of kindness like this does for the community? You know, in my mind, I kind of see like a big rock being thrown into the water and the ripples that causes. And so I'm hoping, well, I know that this will cause, quite a few ripples and contribute to a better experience. And for some folks, it might actually save them at a really critical time. Audrey, like you said, when you got that check when you had your last apple, I'm confident that the students who are impacted by this will be filled with that kind of that good-mindedness and that caring. And I hope that that stays with you and it goes inside your bundle and makes you feel good, that good medicine. There's a teaching that I was given a couple of years ago now, well, many years ago at this point, by this elder named Virgil. It's not a teaching from my culture, so I asked his permission to use it. But he told me that the Anishinaabe have this, it's a teaching, it's a ceremony, it's a belief that every single day, right when the nighttime is about to become daytime, sometimes we think of it as dawn, but he said it's not exactly dawn. He said they call it pidabin, or some people say bidabin. And they say it happens every single day. There's a special moment just as the nighttime is letting go, just before the daytime takes hold. And this special moment called pidabin happens every day, and it lasts for just a little while. And that's the reason people go out and do certain kinds of ceremonies at this time. He said, though, during this few moments of pidabin, it's special because it's when the past, the present, and the future, they all come together at one time. And I thought that was really neat. And the more I thought about that, the more it related to what we're doing in post-secondary institution. We're leveraging the teachings and the knowledge and the investment of our ancestors from the past. We are working with our students today in order to have them set up as best as possible for their journeys in the future. And so this idea of pidabin, the past, the present, the future, all coming together at the same time has really stuck with me and really articulates what we do at post-secondary. And so Audrey, with an open heart and a good mind, I'd like to just offer a closing where we reflect on our ancestors. We give thanks to those who've come before us, those who have made investments and sacrifices and things they've done with love in order to provide a current state where we can do the work that we do today. Now, next, I'd like to acknowledge us, and today a special acknowledgement for Audrey Lawrence for the work that we do, the good-mindedness, the investment, sometimes the struggles, sometimes the tears, sometimes a lot of love, and today an incredible gift of support for future learners in order to prepare for those who come after us. And third, we put our attention to those who do come after us, those faces who have yet to come up, for they are the reason that we do this work. They are the reason our ancestors did their work. They are the reason we continue to invest in all the different activities that we do so that they have a brighter future, a more healthy environment, and so that they can do similar things in order to prepare for those who come after them. So with all of that said, I offer you those words in closing and in gratitude and with a lot of love, Audrey. Yamango, gusto na halado ungwat ni guhage, yoyan ladi. What I said was, our minds are one. We have very big thank yous. The last part to yoyan ladi means a really good work and danito. And so now we close our event with those peace, friendship, peace, friendship, and respect in mind. Yamango, stay safe, stay healthy. Have a good rest of your afternoon, folks. Bye-bye.